And now let's talk security. The United States has resumed surveillance flights over the Sambisa Forest just days after launching airstrikes on Islamic State fighters in Sokoto State. The ISR intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions are reportedly targeting ISWAP strongholds in the northeast, particularly around the Sambisa Forest, a long-time insurgent enclave.
This isn't just about foreign aircraft in Nigerian airspace, but what this says about Nigeria's capacity to tackle terrorism and the implications of U.S. involvement in our internal security operations. Join us to unpack this and what it means for Nigeria's fight against insurgency. Our principal partner, Monachy and Associates Consulting, Akinkunmi Vaughan-Thomas, and the Corps Commandant General at the Neighbourhood, Enlightenment and Safety Organization, NESO, a counterterrorism and counterinsurgency organization. Dr. Sani Aliyu joins us live from our studios in Abuja. One welcome to you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me in the program this morning. Good morning, Nigerians.
Well, glad to have you. I'll start with Mr. Vaughan-Thomas in the studio here with us. Last week, we witnessed something unprecedented. Never in the history of Nigeria as a foreign country dropped weapons or bombs in our territory. The Nigerian government framed it as a partnership against Boko Haram. The damage assessment we've seen so far was that some buildings were hit. We still don't have any information on if the terrorists were neutralized and if any high-value terrorist targets were hit. But some have said it's a stain on our sovereignty and it questions the capabilities of the men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces. What's your take on the events of Christmas Day?
Well, like we've been on the trend of professional skits as we are in Nigeria, with the amount of agencies we have that ought to give us specifications on what has happened. We have even the social media overlapping those responsible for us in this country. So why I call it a professional skit is the fact that till now, we can't say precisely what has happened in our own country. It shows that we don't have it all together when it comes to the administration and report for Nigeria. Where it leaves us is where we've been, which is where a lot of drama will play right before us. We'll have all the proof. People cannot be arrested. Nobody will take responsibility. We'll talk about it all in the news, and at the end of the day, it passes again because we have all been entertained. So it's still just a professional skit. We have the proofs. They say here and there. You'll not believe it. Nobody has taken it public enough to give account of what has happened exactly. So it still remains a skit.
All right, let's now bring in Dr. Aliyu into the conversation. ISR flights have resumed again. What would you say this reveals? Would you say that, again, this highlights some measure of cooperation between both countries, or does it reveal the gap in our nation's security system?
Well, first of all, I would say thank you for having me on this program and compliment of the season.
Same to you.
Sad enough, we need to, like I said earlier in our later conversation, that I'm not comfortable with this whole arrangement, American involvement in our internal issues, because what they will do at the end of the day, they will deepen hatred and cause more crisis in us and leave us like that and go back. Because the message they sent is a very wrong signal message. First of all, if they want to be honest with their campaign of countering terrorism in Nigeria, we have two epicenters, one epicenter of terrorism and one epicenter of banditry in Nigeria. Maiduguri, but the Borno State, is the epicenter of terrorism in Nigeria, with over 2,000 ISIS and over 3,000 ISWAP and over 5,000 Boko Harams. And when you come to the northwest, you have Zamfara, the epicenter of banditry in Nigeria. The next to it is Katsina. Sokoto came third. Now, what is in Sokoto? Are there bandits in Sokoto? You have the Lukrawas that are between Sokoto and Kebbi State. What is their population? Less than 200. Why do they choose Sokoto to strike on a Christmas day? Is it to cause disaffection between the Muslims and the Christians in Nigeria? That on Christmas day, they are hitting the Islamic Caliphate of Nigeria? These are something we have to be very, very careful with and be very, very wary about. And this is what I've been calling earlier, that America do not have the clear narrative of Nigeria. Otherwise, most of the assertions of President Trump wouldn't have been so. Because if you look at the sentiment they are creating, is Christian genocide in Benue and in Plateau. Meanwhile, it is a very long existing crisis between herders and farmers in Benue and the Plateau. And until we go back and understood this thing very well and get to the root cause of this crisis and see how we can handle it, that's what I keep saying. Nigerians have the capacity to handle this crisis. We don't need an American government to come into us. Look at what they just did. Look at the arrogance of President Trump, saying he commanded an operation in Nigeria. So does that mean that Nigerians have two commander-in-chiefs, one commander-in-chief in America and the other commander-in-chief in Tinubu in Nigeria? And this thing happened. Up till now, there is no official statement from the presidency. What is the message that is sending to us as Nigerians? Do we really have government in this country? How can America come and override our government? How can America take decision in Washington and then start hitting Nigerian side? If there is anything called military cooperation, I think it should be between the defense chief of American military and the defense chief of Nigeria. And they should work under the close supervision of our commander-in-chief, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and not American president. For all intent and purposes, Nigeria is a sovereign state because, for goodness sake. So we cannot fold our arms and see Americans come and be taking decisions on how we maintain peace and order and security in our country. It is not done anywhere in the world. This is not an applicable situation. It is a very sad situation that I think we have to review this arrangement. It's either we go by what is actually obtainable, that the president of Nigeria remain the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria and is the only one that can give order for such strike to happen in Nigeria, not American president. This is very sad. I'm very sad. I'm very worried. I'm very disturbing. And it's going to create a lot of disaffection between the Muslims and Christians in Nigeria. We have been living over the ages as brothers and sisters in many Muslim homes in the north. They have Christians who say there are no Hausa Christians, who say there are no Fulani Christians. All right. We have all this in minority. And even though you go to Jos, Plateau State, who say there are no Plateau indigenes, there are Muslims. If you go to Benue, who say there are no chiefs that are Muslims, who say there are no Idoma people that are Muslims. We have managed our diversity.
Let's now bring in
our narratives. We understand our unity, and this has been the worry point of many Western world, including America. That how is Nigeria able to manage all this diversity? There is this religious sentiment. There's this tribal differences, a lot of differences. Yes, we are able to contain our problem.
All right, Dr. Aliyu, I think we hear where you're coming from, but just in the interest of us trying to make the best out of the little time we have, let's have Mr. Vaughan-Thomas as well speak to some of the things that you've said, and let's see if we're all on the same page. All right, Mr. Vaughan-Thomas, please go ahead.
Well, bringing up the issue of a religious misconception of what is happening due to Trump's assertion that he has made a move. I stand my ground not to be confused with either the caliphate or it being a confusion between Christians and Muslims. That's not what we are onto. What we are onto is the fact that Trump is making a statement that should be confronted, and the government ought to sit up to tell us exactly how does the U.S. government come to say what he's saying. Does he have your permission or he doesn't? And our president standing up for us enough to say, this is the situation we have at hand. This is what the United States has offered. And I, as the one in charge of this country, this is my stand. These are the steps I've taken. I think that will douse a lot of confusion. But the more we begin to try to see, like, I know U.S. made a statement concerning a religious genocide to use it as a startup. But where we should focus on is the leading party of the country should sit up to tell us this is where we were before we were confronted.
But Mr. Vaughan-Thomas, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
As we speak at this moment, the Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces is on his way to his end of year break and is in Europe, and he has not addressed the country. What we've been getting is statements from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Even the Defense Headquarters has not addressed Nigerians. Do you think much more is expected from a Commander-in-Chief, and he should have at least stalled his holiday and that meeting that is going to attend the conference in Abu Dhabi, which starts on the 11th of January?
As a veteran, you will take it as a joke that I'm bringing on the statement that we are on a professional skit. Psychological warfare is reigning in Nigeria. Those that are in charge of what they want us to see, they are doing it. They don't care how it is. You can see how they can't efficiently stand up for the country enough to say, this is what is wrong, this is what we are doing, and this is how it has to be. But what they have drawn as an agenda, which it's too open. Anybody that is in Nigeria knows there are sets of persons that have drawn up a strategy or an agenda, and they are carrying it out specifically. The only thing they can say, even if somebody like US wants to come in, is to try to defend the fact that somebody outside wants to interrupt. I'm not saying the way he's going about it is okay, you understand? But I'm saying this is all a skit. The script is already clear. And what we should sit up to...
What's the end goal of that script? Are we outsourcing national security to a foreign country? Is that what we're doing?
It was just mentioned now that we should be careful that the caliphate, it infers that maybe the Muslim side of the country, one thing or the other. We are already afraid. I said it here the other time that the people that are part of that religion, that these people that are terrorists are claiming to be part of, they don't have a stand-up for our sake to say, no, that is not what our religion is all about.
Yeah, I mean, quite a number of them have been condemning these attacks, and a lot of the victims of terrorism have also been adherents of the Islamic faith. So a number of them have quite been condemning them. And there's also the factor of, let's leave everything to God. God knows best. That's why some of the messaging is not amplified.
What I'm inferring is very simple. Regardless of how they show it to be political, we have the Islamic State very strong on something happening. Nobody, let me come out straight. I don't know if it's only me that is knowing that in the northern state or the part where we show off these terrorists, they carry rifles live and direct. Nobody is coming from the fact that I am in Lagos now and I don't have the right to carry rifle. What is happening? Are we in a different part of the country where some people are permitted to carry rifle, civilians, and we are saying we want to negotiate with them? When I say it is a skit or psychological warfare, we at this part, the southern side, and the western side, and every other side, we are seeing a set of people can freely brandish rifle. And we are going there to negotiate with them. Who is in charge of this country? We're not children.
Well,
we're not children.
Let's go back to Dr. Aliyu. Dr. Aliyu, I mean, I know you said you're not a supporter of having an international organization or country coming to our own soil. But then again, don't you think that there's been laxity of some sort, especially from the government? That's why it has opened its borders and made it free for even, I mean, by the way, even Israel is, you do have other countries, I beg your pardon, who are also speaking up. There's a story of Turkey, there's a story of Israel, and it seems like Nigeria is now on the spotlight. Everybody is interested and they want to have either a piece of the pie or they just want to front and flex their muscles, as it were. But don't you think that as a country, we should also look at the positive side of saying thank you to the United States for taking the bull by the horn and deciding to do what Nigeria has not done in a long time?
Well, the issue here is we have to be very careful. I keep sending a very strong signal. You think yourself Nigeria, me, I think myself Africa. First, I am a Nigerian, and I know Nigeria is the beacon of Africa, without which the black man has no space in this world again. Nigeria is a very, very central part of the black man existence in this globe. And so, and Nigeria has a lot of resources, human resources, and whatever you want to say. The interest of Nigeria is the interest of Nigeria in the heart of the Westerners and Americans is not about how to get Nigerians unification or how to get their Nigerian growth. If you think the America is interested in your growth or your peace, I think you have to have your head to rethink. There is none of them that want our progress. I'm telling you, because we have all the potential to become one of the great countries in the world. Nigeria, if given this peace and security we want, we are going to be the leaders of the African bloc, just like Russia and is the leader of Eastern Bloc, and then you have China as the leader of Asian Bloc. So this politics and this is a very, like my other colleagues said there, it's a very scripted game. We all know what is happening. What I'm still trying to, this your television, we are using it as a medium to reach out to Nigerians, to sensitize Nigerians that we don't have any other country other than Nigeria. And that what is happening in the north, let the western end and the southern end not think that it is only happening in the north and it's not going to spread to them. It's like a cancer. It's going to eat up this country. What is happening in the north will certainly snowball back to the west and the eastern part of this country. So we must be careful. We must be our brother's keeper. We must come together at this critical time and improve on our unity and leave all our differences to build a stronger nation. These people are not here to help us. They are not our friends. I keep telling you.
Sorry to butt in, but the Nigerian military says this is a joint operation with the United States. So don't you think they're already doing something to prevent it from snowballing and spreading? Because if they're already working together hand in hand, it means that we should expect an end soon.
What work? What work hand in hand? How are they working hand in hand? I have just told you that the epicenter of terrorism in Nigeria is Maiduguri. What have the Americans done there? Is it not the ISIS and the Israel they are supposed to attack first? Why are they attacking a place that is just run by bandits and a few less than 200 people that are already classified as Lakurawa, that are classified as a part of the Al-Qaeda or something, and ISIS? We have the epicenter of terrorism in Nigeria, in Maiduguri. I expect America, if they are sincere about what they say they want to do, they should have strike in Sambisa Forest, not Sokoto on a Christmas day. It's a wrong signal. I still insist that the American doesn't mean good to us. They want to cause disaffection within the citizens of this country. And the earlier we start talking about it, so that our people in the north will know it, and our people in the south will understand it. Both the northern Christian, both the southern Christian and Muslims, they should come together and understand that that strike, American strike, is sent a wrong signal to us. We should not take it. We should just see it on the surface. It does not represent the thought of the Nigerian Muslim, not the mind of the Nigerian Muslim, nor does it represent the mind of Nigerian Christian, not the thought of Nigerian Christian. It is absolutely American agenda. It was there that Nigeria had to disintegrate in 2015. It is by God's grace in 2023 on our roundtable that we are able to avert that. But they are still on it. They still are insisting that Nigeria must disintegrate. And it is high time we start talking this thing openly so that our people will know that we did ourselves better than any other thing. Nigeria we must not allow Nigeria to go, because Nigeria is our vertebra, is the vertebra of Africa, without which the black man has no space, I insist, in this globe again.
All right, Dr. Aliyu, just before my colleagues go on with the other question, and also the in-house studio guests, rather, I also wanted to highlight that, I mean, there's a security brief, or rather still an information, that the target in Sokoto was a gathering point for some of these insurgents, or in quotes, terrorists, who were planning to go all out, especially this period of time during the festive season, and America got that intel. I mean, you're also a security expert. Did you get that intel? I'm also going to push that narrative to our in-house studio guest. So let me go to him first, and maybe if you did have that intel, I want to highlight that maybe in subsequent answers. I don't know if you got that intel, Mr. Vaughan.
Yes, I have it.
All right. He's saying, Dr. Aliyu is saying that he doesn't appreciate the fact that they went to bomb Sokoto, a wrong coordinate, a wrong place. They should have started with Sambisa, even though we hear that there's surveillance right now in Sambisa. But do you agree that, according to the intel, there was a clarification that there was a gathering in Sokoto where they were planning to carry out a major strike?
What I agree with is not even as important. This is Mohammed Idris here, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation. He said that what was found out was that they had a bigger plan of what they wanted to carry out, and that was what the U.S. attacked. Let's come back to what we are suffering. The way Nigeria is divided now to every lay person is the fact that in Lagos, I cannot wear military uniform, carry AK-47 and walk around. Get my picture. But it is happening in the other sides of Nigeria, and we are carrying government and camera and representative and negotiators to go and visit them and talk to them. Is it one country or another country? That's the psychological warfare I'm talking about. So it's something that some people are in charge of. We are just played along, and we don't have a choice. They carry rifles, they wear military, they wear police uniforms, they carry rifles, and they sit down, they make noise, they have bikes, they have sponsors. We have a script of people they say they are sponsoring them. They've not said anything so far.
Again, boils down to the conversation about political will. But let's hold on.
And lack of seriousness.
Exactly. We haven't quite exhausted this conversation. There's still more to go. We're going to break, and when we come back, we have more questions for our guests. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still analyzing the U.S. Involvement regarding the December 25th attack and what the implications are for Nigeria's security architecture. We're joined this morning by the principal partner, Monachy and Associates Consulting, Akinkunmi Vaughan-Thomas, who is in the studio with us. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you.
And we're also joined by the Corps Commandant General at Neighbourhood, Enlightenment and Safety Organization, NESO, and Counterterrorism and Counterinsurgency Organization, Dr. Sani Aliyu, who joins us from our Abuja studio. Thank you very much for being here, Dr. Aliyu. Now with you, to you, Dr. Aliyu, you've talked about how you're strongly against the United States involvement and how the U.S. doesn't have the best of intentions in helping us combat our insecurity challenges. The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces is currently not in the country, and I wonder if that speaks to any body language, or if that sends across a signal of how prepared, how ready we are to fight against this. Recall that when the threat was made, he cancelled his trip. He was meant to go to Brazil, and he cancelled his trip as a result of the threat by Donald Trump. The threat has now been carried out, and then he's left the country to Europe. Does this mean anything, or is it really much ado about nothing?
Well, first of all, before I even comment on that, I would like to remind my co-discussant on this program that the northern states are not the first people to be going on uniform with branded rifles on the streets in Nigeria. It has the beginning. I remember vividly well in 2001 in Museum Center, Lagos. I make a presentation that was during the erstwhile president Olusegun Obasanjo, when there was campaign of OPC in Western Nigeria. And I said in that program that government can never legalize illegality. Illegality must be treated with all seriousness, because this that is happening in Lagos will come up in other regions of the country. Thereafter, immediately after, we now have what is called the militants in the south. The militants, we are branded with uniforms, with guns and everything, AK-47 bombs, bombing up our oil pipeline and all those things. And I remember vividly well in that paper, I made caution that this thing will have a replica, a similar thing in other parts of the country. And during Jonathan, I re-emphasized that the government is still having romance with militants, calling them militant generals, going to Abuja to take coffee and tea and discuss with our president, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, although Yaradua started a program called, how to bring them out of the militancy, and
rehabilitation program.
So, and I was scared that the Northerners should not emulate what is happening there, because if they see there is gain in violence, they will be going around bombing every place on the street clearly, in the name of that when they die, they will go to heaven because of lack of proper education. I made these warnings. Coming back to what is happening at the moment, that Nigeria was attacked by the American administration, or a part of Nigeria is a place called Sokoto State in Nigeria was so attacked in representing that they are attacking the Boko Haram, the bandits over there. And under this attack, our president did not make any official statement to the Nigerians to calm the Sokoto citizens down. There's no problem. They should. It is the cooperation between them and America. He doesn't make any such statement and go for his holidays. And now he's gone out of the country for conference. Does not actually speak very well. I must be candid to that. And we expect more from our President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that he should carry Nigeria in his heart. We know how he was part of the struggle for Nigerian democracy. And we should think, as this time that God has given him the leadership of this country, he should lead this country in the way he can bequeath this country to others, not a way that the country will disintegrate. Please, I am calling on President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, wherever he is, he can make a statement and send to Nigeria and condole the families who whoever it was affected, whether by collateral damage or whatever you want to call it, or the trauma that happened to the innocent citizens of Sokoto State because of the attack, at least he should show some signs of remorse and then explain to Nigerians that it means well to Nigerians. It is not about religion. It does not speak it. It doesn't take the route that Americans are coming to defend Christians in Nigeria, and therefore they start attacking the center of Islam in Nigeria. So I think there is a lot for us to engage our people to discuss more. I know why I'm being blunt on this program, because if I don't speak like this now, there's a lot going on in the heart of our northerners, especially the Muslims, that the American has come, and this is going to de-radicalize more people. It's going to make easier recruitment, because people that ordinarily are not in support of these terrorists or in support of this bandit will start saying, okay, they are going to do this, do that to support the religion, because it's the fight of religion now, is fight for finish. This is the mindset that we are trying to disabuse. And please, I'm talking to my northern brothers and Muslims. Do not take Trump's word that he's coming to defend Christians. Trump doesn't defend Christians. If Trump wants to defend Christians, what has he been doing in Palestine and other places that are more the root of Jesus Christ is Palestine? What has he done about them? Has he stopped the genocide over there? So we should not listen to Trump's moving statement, because he doesn't know the kind of sentiment, the kind of mindset of the Nigerian people, especially the northern people. So
thank you very much, Dr. Aliyu. Because we have to manage time and get as much as possible, I'd like to come to our guest in the studio. Mr. Vaughan-Thomas, Dr. Aliyu raised some very salient points about the origins of, this civilians carrying weapons. He talked us through OPC, the militants, and now it's almost like a franchise. The bandits in the north have bought into it. And how do we deal with this issue? That's why we're here in the first place. The United States government decided to, President Trump framed it as he's like a shield of Christianity, religious persecution, perfect strikes. But some of these perfect strikes, let's come to the perfect strikes. They were launched from maritime platforms in the Gulf of Guinea. MQ-9 Reaper drones were launched. Tomahawk cruise missiles were fired from U.S. Navy-guided missile destroyers positioned in the Gulf of Guinea. How effective and what's the damage assessment are these airstrikes? We've seen the United States government use airstrikes against Al-Shabaab targets, more than 100 in this year alone, but that hasn't degraded their capacity in any way. So how effective could airstrikes be in dealing with this terrorism problems without having boots on the ground from a military perspective and security perspective?
There is an internal conspiracy in place, and the manipulation of minds. You see, the foot soldiers, what can influence them from what Trump is doing is when they get incited to see him not as an objective ally, but somebody that has come to insult our own sovereignty.
And also appeal to his evangelical base back home. Yes, politics.
Yes. Then Trump cannot claim to have anything to do with Christianity. The business angle of it is sure. But come back to Nigeria, which is our platform. They are responsible for us to tell us what is happening, in the sense that, okay, this person
exaggerates
over a sovereign state like we are, and has made this proclamation, as our leaders have not come out to speak. Who is leading us, who is guiding us, and how safe are we? Now, the current insecurity we are dealing with that has to be with the steering of Trump has to come from the Islamic side. And that is this wearing of uniform thing I'm talking about and carrying rifles. But one cogent thing that we should focus on is the manipulation of people's mind, which is they can be educated wrongly. Like now, nobody know, if you meet Nigerians on the road now, some people are saying they want Trump to do what he's doing because Nigeria has been careless and not been able to do anything. Another set of persons are saying, look, Trump is coming for business. And the business can start with the fact that when Nigeria disintegrates. Another side is just afraid that trouble is about to erupt in Nigeria and we don't know the way forward. But where is the leadership? What we should receive formal education about now is the upcoming election, the politics of what is running.
But we've been getting, I mean, the leadership has been releasing statements, and I'm sure my colleagues can testify to it. In the last 48 hours after that attack, do you know how many foreign ABC in all the way in Australia? Our Foreign Minister was on Sky News, it was on CNN, it was on ABC. Why is the messaging to the international press? When Dr. Aliyu raised a very salient point that, look, you need to assuage the fears of Nigerians, you need to install confidence in them. You talk about the seat of the caliphate in Sokoto, that this is not, don't listen to what Donald Trump is saying. They need to own the narrative and say this is not an attack on Muslims in Nigeria. But the senior government officials are busy talking to Sky News, CNN, Al Jazeera, ABC, TRT in Turkey. Why is it that they don't like to speak to address us? They should be on Breakfast Central.
Because we are not important. The masses don't come into consideration when it comes to Nigeria. When you are able by politics to own that leadership front, you disregard the people that bring you in. Then the same people, what I understand by manipulation and mind manipulation is the fact that these same masses that are disregarded now, when you want a change of government, you know what to do to them because they are uneducated. You know what to do to them to make them vote you back on, and you continue the horse riding. So education over manipulation is very important in the country right now. Beyond the fact that you tell them that, don't worry, this is not what is happening, Nigerians have to own up to intelligence. I don't want to say it generally, but it's like we're not educated about anything. Any script that is thrown to us is what we dance with. Everybody literally now, and one thing, for all of us that are feeling cool, where people are not wearing military uniforms and carrying AK-47 now, and we think it's very far.
Dr. Aliyu said it.
It's coming so close, so near that the same thing that is holding there is what will. Let me tell you the 3 points.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that.
The 3 pictures of what is happening there is suddenly they saw people with uniforms and rifles. And they found out that this is my brother. This is my brother. This is my brother. Those people were won over. They were manipulated into that group. It was not that they all traveled down, but they brought mercenaries to train, to equip one way or the other. Now, when they do that, when the military wants to come in, second point, when they want to come in, the people on ground already know their cousins or brothers that have joined these sets of persons. So using these people as human shields, when you come into the community and you say you want to infiltrate and take care of them, you want to get out those that are terrorists, you understand? The same civilians
the intel gets to
will hide them, will hide them and say, no, I'm not going to point a finger. These people are not hidden over there. Their pictures, their names, everybody knows them over there. So the same way it is happening there, it will come here if we don't sit up to educate ourselves on what is needed immediately. So what is needed immediately now is how do we counter this psychological operation
and
that is
decisive
ongoing.
leadership. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, let's go back to Dr. Aliyu. Dr. Aliyu, so what would you highlight as the most important thing to be done by the Nigerian government, seeing that the United States has resumed its surveillance? They are tracking, they are checking. What will be the next step, especially for the Nigerian government, if they need to take charge of this situation? Bear in mind that Nigerians have, a cross-section of Nigerians by our rating shows that a huge percentage of Nigerians are applauding the United States for coming in to do the work.
Well, when you say a huge percentage of Nigerians applauding, I beg to disagree because you never carried out census.
Well,
Because,
Dr. Aliyu, the
as far as I'm
census,
concerned,
you could check it, you could carry out the census yourself. I mean, you could ask the people around you. For us, we've also looked at the data as well. There is also a daily, a newspaper, members of the press have also done that. And very soon we'll be talking to our reporter who equally spoke to a few persons who have also applauded the move. So we're not just talking, we are talking with data and facts.
Well, I think if you want to get the pulse, you should go where the thing is happening. Don't go and do the interview in the West or in the South. Come to the North, carry out your conversation, because these are the place, this is the epicenter, this is where the trouble is, this is where it is happening now. Size the mindset of the people here, whether they agree with what you are saying. We believed that the government can be able to take over this situation if they are serious about it. What we are insisting is the government should say thank you to America, go back, we will handle this situation. And we as an organization, like I said, NESO, Neighbourhood, Enlightenment and Safety Organization, we know everything about this, what is happening, and we are here to help the government to fight it out. In fact, we have been doing so. We have been helping the military. So over 10 years, we have been helping the defense in terms of this fight. But we need a better support. We need to be grounded, just like NSCDC was grounded by Obasanjo during the vandalization scandals in Nigeria. This is terrorism. We have been on ground over 10 years. The Tinubu administration should give us an agency as counterterrorism agency, and then let the military come behind as support, and let them see if it will take us 18 months to clear this problem, because we like this man says that most of the people that are known in their area, the people, some of the Boko Harams, some of these bandits, of course they didn't come from heaven. Even though we know there are outside influence from Mali, from Burkina Faso, from Chad, from Cameroon, from Niger, we know we have external influences, but it is something that we can use non-kinetic aspect to deal with. Of course, like I said on the other program, kinetic aspect must go pari passu with non-kinetic aspect. You need to reach out to these people. You need to talk to them. You need to educate them. You need to see their problem, understand what is making them do this. You empower them, enlighten them, and give them jobs and create education for them. Give them health centers. Let government presence be there. Let me tell you, I carried out a tour the other time to Sokoto. Many communities in Sokoto do not have what is called government presence. You will not even see a simple police station in the whole of a very large locality governed by many people in that place and space. You will not see a police station, not even a single police post. What kind of society are we running, for goodness sake? So let government come, let's create this organization. And already, like I said earlier, we have over 70,000. We are almost in every community in Nigeria. The whole 36 states, there is no place we don't have our presence in most hamlets and communities. And we understand the narrative, the grassroots. We must go back to the root cause of this problem. We must mend defenses. We must deal with the root cause of this problem. We must activate that aspect of non-kinetic solutions, how to resolve these issues. Go back to the basis, go back to the root. We cannot be putting medicine, on the already cancerous wound at the border of the wound. We must treat it from the root. This is what we are saying. So the government should actually have a course to call experts together so that we look at the problem of this country and solve it. We have the capacity to solve it. We have the education, we have the population, we have the financial capacity, and we should know that we need a country called Nigeria, so that those benefits that our leaders have benefited, the people like the president of Nigeria and the rest of them, should be bequeathed to the generations yet unborn and the generations to come. So we need,
thank you.
It is a responsibility on us and the government to keep this country safe for Nigeria and for Africa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aliyu. I'll come to Mr. Vaughan-Thomas in the studio. Just before we begin to wrap up this conversation, we learn a lot from history, and history has told us, especially post-Second World War, that there's nowhere in the world, and I stand to be fact-checked, that the United States has intervened militarily and they turned out good for it. So that should be our watchword. Having said that, now that the first strike has been carried out and the messaging from the United States government is that we're likely to see more cooperation, they frame it as cooperation and attacks. What sort of assistance do we need, and how do we manage this, knowing that Nigeria is a very ethnically sensitive and religious sensitive federation in a way that we actually deal with the issue? And they say that, you know, there's no free lunch, even in Freetown. The cost of one Tomahawk cruise missile, we do know what the United States is expending and what they might want in return for this. So how do we deal with this issue decisively and this partnership with the United States in a way that we keep our sovereignty, and it's in a way that it's a win-win situation for all parties involved?
Well, for all parties involved, the people we elect to the sensitive positions of what it takes to give us security in Nigeria, their profiles, when you look at it, does it give place for a fair hearing of things that are happening, or it is lopsided? If it is lopsided with those that are elected to be in those positions, they should be changed. They should be changed. I don't know how they can bring about a committee that will bring about, you know, where one or two people will compete on it and they choose who is fair, which is every side of the country will have an input on how the persons are elected. That aside, the National Assembly need to be wary, because their dancing and enjoyment will not be for long. The same masses that are not yet educated, if we can find room for them to be educated of how they are being used and how the loss of everything affects them first, it empowers them to decisively know how they come in when it comes to choices of leaders. That education is very important. Then our judicial executives, toothless dogs could be better. But the fact is, their empowerment, as in how they've been empowered to make laws to stand in place, to guard the nation, it needs reviews. They need to review all these things, because it seems everybody that enters into a party system that is in power, they are ruled by the notion of how everything comes from that same party. If the party dances to the left, they dance to the left. If they dance to the right, they dance to the right. And for now, if part of the people that are meant to be protecting us are going on holiday, our president is not coming out to talk, the masses should be charged to know. Because I scripted something yesterday. I said the bottleneck between the masses and wrong leadership are those the masses entrust with their intelligence. What does that mean? Like, if I'm a leader now, if I'm wrong or not, and I have money, I will look for somebody that the masses can listen to, regardless of my agenda. Once it's been given enough money, the masses that ought to be thinking before they choose or elect about their welfare and about their future, that same person, the little he has, he sprinkles it over, like money or whatever, and they dance to it, and we suffer. So, you see, even the masses we want to protect, it's a pity I'm part of them. What we are suffering, we enthroned it.
We allowed it.
We allowed it. And we're suffering from it for now. If education can come to place to make us know our power, and when we enthrone these people into leadership, how we cannot call it off until their terms run out, and is the country becoming better? Imagine somebody from CBN or people that know about finances coming up to tell us that our oil, our wealth is going this way. They didn't say it behind the screen. They came out to say it. But their information as intelligence as it was not used. And we are where we are now.
Thank you so much. I'm afraid we've run out of time on this conversation. I'd like to say a very big thank you to our studio guest in Abuja, the Corps Commandant General at Neighbourhood, Enlightenment and Safety Organization, NESO. And thank you so much, Dr. Sani Aliyu, and also the Principal Partner, Monachy and Associates Consulting, Akinkunmi Vaughan-Thomas, and a senior expert of the Nigerian Military School, Zaria. I would like to say a big thank you, to you. Always a pleasure
Thank you,
speaking
gentlemen.
with you.